Hello and welcome back to another video from the Another Retro Guys Movie Zone. Thank you very much for coming back to the channel and to this second episode of Why I Love, a series where I explore films that other people might hate, but I get a big kick out of them. And for the second episode, I thought I'd take a look at this one. In my eyes, it's a very, very competent sequel. Some good action in it. Special effects in it are pretty good. Um, and the performances are really good as well. At least I think so. And it is Terminator Salvation, starring Christian Bale, Sam Worthington, Bryce Dallas Howard, Moon Bloodgood, I think her name is, and Helena Bonham Carter as well. And I think Common's in it as well. And it follows on from Terminator 3, which is another film that I must admit I don't actually mind. It's okay. But this follows on from that film, and it's in the first throes of the human machine war. You see a very young Carl Reese, and it introduces a character played by Sam Worthington called Marcus Wright, who was in jail and is on death row, and he signs away his body for science. And later on in the film, they attack this military installation for Skynet, and they find a load of survivors, and it's a trap. And this bomb goes off, kills everyone in the base apart from John Connor. And hours later, Sam Worthington's character comes back, and it's his journey to help the resistance against Skynet. This is the direction I think that the Terminator series should have taken. The reason being is that we get a glimpse of the future war in the first two Terminator films. And with the way that 3 went with its ending, we thought, oh great, we're going to get a series of films based on like the future war and leading up to finding the time displacement system and sending Reese back. So it's like a massive loop, but that never happened. I actually went to see this at the cinema, and I really liked it then. And I've had it on Blu-ray with the skull case. I had that for many years, and then when I transitioned to 4K and was upgrading my films onto 4K, that was one of the films I was eager to get. And for some reason, I've actually found this quite hard to come by. I've only ever seen one other copy, and that was in CEX when I went to CEX recently. Other than that, I haven't really seen it around. That's weird. That really, really is weird. Unless I wasn't really looking for it, I don't know. But yeah, as I said at the start of the video, the performances are really good. I mean, Christian Bale's doing his Batman impression, which I must admit it really wasn't needed, but Christian Bale is a very good John Connor. He really is. Christian Bale's actually really good in anything that he's in. He's a very good actor. He always puts his all into films, like into his roles and that. And yeah, I can't. Apart from doing his Batman impression, I can't fault him in this. He's a very good action lead. Sam Worthington, I think at the start of his career he got a lot of flack for being like, one-dimensional and that. But I find that with this film and Man on the Ledge that came out, I think it was not long after. When did this come out? 2009. Yeah, I think Man on the Ledge came out in about 2012, 2013. And it actually showed that he's got some really good acting chops. I mean, especially in that with the with how he is. And I'm not gonna spoil the plot if you haven't seen it. But his range of emotions as it goes through. First of all, he is cold, and that's just his character. But then when he warms up and that, and he kind of his emotions come through. He is actually really good. He's a really really good. Sorry, he is a really good actor in this, and he can hold his own as well. Um, Moonblood good again. She can hold her own in it. She's really good in it. Quite underutilized, I feel. She could have had more of a screen presence in the film. Um, Bryce Dallas Howard as Kate Brewster, who's now John's wife. Again, she was underutilized. She was only in it for about 5 minutes, and that's a shame because I quite like Bryce Dallas Howard. She's a good actress, and I feel as though that she could have added a bit more to it if she was in it a little bit longer. Um, but that's just my take on it. Rest of the cast do a good job, and Helena Bonham Carter. I can't explain too much more about her character because it will, again, for those who haven't seen it, it will ruin the plot a bit like the trailer for Terminator Genesis did. But that's another story altogether. I can't stand that film. But this, yeah, the action set pieces in it are really, really good. There's some really good gun battles, especially the opening battle where they're going into this like hidden Skynet facility, and you see like a couple of helicopters land, and they parasail. I think it's parasail down into like the actual complex itself, and they go through and they find like all these people that they were just about to experiment on and all that, and then but when the shit hits the fan, he gets topside, and he's literally the only survivor of this first assault, and he's fighting against um, all these like this like machine and that, because it's literally, I think there's like a small atomic like nuclear bomb goes off and just wipes out the whole base, like the whole facility, like underground on that. So he's the only survivor, and when it goes into like this dynamic camera where he's trying to take off in the helicopter, and it zooms through and it goes through and all that. It's actually really good, and it really does put you in the heat of the action at that moment. Um, I mean, especially like when the helicopter's spinning round and it goes in, and as I say, it then zooms in, like goes in on him, and then like from inside the helicopter it crashes and it rolls, and then as soon as he lets like undoes his seatbelt and he falls because it's on its roof, then the camera just turns so it's the right way up, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. That whole shot, for me, it makes the film. Just even though it's just a really simple sequence, it makes it for me. Um, it is quite stylized, I will admit, but it is still cool to see. Um, but yeah, on the whole, many people turned around and said that it's a pile of shit. For me, I look at it as the opening act of a potential trilogy of Terminator Future War films. And it's just a sad state of affairs that we never got the second part, especially with that ending. There was something I didn't agree with in regards to how they played the ending out. Um, and I won't say what they are again in case people haven't seen the film. I don't want to ruin it for them. But I can kind of see why they done it the way that they did. Um, but yeah, I would have loved to have seen uh, a, a direct follow up to this and not Terminator Genesis, because that was just gash beyond belief, and I think that's probably unanimous. I mean, I must admit, I saw that at the cinema as well, and at first I was like, "Yeah, it's not bad, it's pretty good." But then I pulled it on Blu-ray and I watched it, and I was like, "No, this is shit." So I ended up selling it. I had it in my collection for ages. Watched it once, and that was it. Never went back to it. So I was like, "Fuck it, that can go." But yeah, I mean, this has even got a cool thing in it for the Moto Terminator. It's basically a Terminator in it as a motorcycle. There's one bit where I'm trying to think what it was now, because as I say, I haven't seen it in so long. I think there's a bit on where they're being chased in this tanker. Kyle, this little girl, and Marcus are being chased in this in this tanker. They're driving this tanker trying to get away, and you've got these two Moto Terminators that are dropped off, and they're going through, and it's so fucking epic seeing motorbike versions of a relentless killing machine just literally just weaving through, just trying to fucking destroy this tanker. And it's like, yeah, I really wouldn't want to face one of them, because yeah, I wouldn't survive 5 minutes. I really wouldn't. But it's a really cool concept, and it's something that I wish had have carried on. Again, if they'd have done a trilogy of those kind of movies, I could probably see that being part of the next films. I mean, especially when you see one of the, I suppose it's a Harvester Terminator. It's a bit like War of the Worlds with like the tripod on the basket, and as they pick people up, they put them in the basket. It's practically the same thing. You've got these big like this big fuck ass Terminator. It's like a hunter killer, but it's on legs and it's 10 times bigger. It's like, Jesus wept. And as it reaches down and grabs people and literally just like that and just carries on, it's like, Jesus. It's fucking huge, and it's really, really cool looking to see that. It's like, that's how they managed to get hold of people. And yeah, that bit's actually quite terrifying, because just you can just imagine it. You're trying to survive, and all of a sudden you look up, you see however tall it is, 1,000 foot, whatever. You look up, you see that, and you think, "Oh, I've wasted my life." And yeah, but it's cool. There are some really good ideas in this. Some really cool ideas. As I say, the Moto Terminator, the that panic, that like shot that goes through, and then you've got the first instances of the Terminators with the rubber skin, and how they're described in the first Terminator, that they were easily spotted. They'd done it so that yeah, you could easily spot them. It was so well done, so clever. It really, really was. And there are so many good ideas in that film. There really are. I mean, especially if like hang on, there's one plot point where they find a signal, but it turns out it's something else. And that's a really good idea as well. Really, really good idea. But that's what I mean. There's so much to like about this film, and I know people say, "Oh, it's not like the first two." Well, of course it is. Of course it isn't like the first two. It's like Alien 3 isn't like Aliens. If it was more of the same, you'd moan. Because it's different, you moan. You know? Every sequel can't be like a good second. You know, like Aliens. Not every film can be like Aliens. You get bored as fuck. You know, not every film can be like Terminator 2. Again, you'd get bored as fuck. I know I would. I really, really would. So that's why I'm glad we have different sequels, especially this one. Alien 3 is going to come in another video soon, but yeah, I'm glad that this doesn't follow suit. I'm glad that it takes those the first years of or I don't know, after like 10, 15 years of like the bombs dropping and that. I'm glad it took that approach. I really am. And again, I would have loved to have seen the two sequels to this. that they were planning, but because it was a box office disappointment, they scrapped them. That's a fucking shame. All because people were like, oh, it's not like Terminator 2. Well, of course it's not. It's set during the fucking future war. Again, if it was like Terminator 2, people go, oh, it's the same as Terminator 2. Why isn't it different? People are never happy. I was with this. I really enjoyed it. And you know what? I'm glad it's got a place in my collection. Because it is a good film. Really, really good film. I really enjoy it. Yes, there are some issues with it. All films have got issues. No film is near enough perfect. Apart from Wall-E, obviously, but that's just a perfect film anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But this is a damn good movie. And if you take out the factor that it's not going to be Terminator 2, that it's going to be set in a future war, watch it again. But don't turn around and say, oh no, I don't really want to watch it again because it's not Terminator 2. Of course it's not fucking Terminator 2. It's Terminator Salvation, damn it. You can't have every sequel the same. As I say, if you do, you would end up fucking bored. I know I would. That's why I'm glad this is different from Terminator 2. That's why I'm glad that Alien 3 is different from Aliens. That's going to be controversial when I do that video. I can tell. But fuck it, it's my opinion. But yeah, Terminator Salvation. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I watch it. Good cast. Good acting. Good script. Actually, now I think about it, great special effects. Even the CG is spot on. There's one bit of CG that over time is not as good as I thought it was. Still does the job. I'm not going to tell you where it is in case you haven't seen it. You'll see it if you watch this. Great score as well, but who does the score for this? I can never fucking remember. Danny Elfman. Normally he's jumpy scores and all that, like with Batman, you know, and Beetlejuice and many other like Tim Burton films and that, and I think even with The Simpsons as well. But this, he does a really good moody score to this. There's no lightness, there's no bounciness to it that you find in most of his other scores. It's a damn good score and a damn good film. I love this film. And I'm not ashamed to say it. That's a hill that I will die on. What can I say? Terminator Salvation. Haven't watched it, give it a go. If you have watched it and you don't like it, put away the mindset that it's not Terminator 2. Push that to the side. Just fucking push it to the side. Clear your mind and give it another watch. Hopefully you'll change your mind. If you don't, it's worth a go. Terminator Salvation. So anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. Yeah, I want to try and keep these nice and concise videos, not over like the 35-minute mark going into like a deep dive. It's just why I like the film. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Friday the 22nd of May, we've got episode 5 of Always Physical, and our guests will be Trevor of Double Bill Movies and Pete from Playtendo going. We'll be talking about all of the announcements for the past month. And there'll also be some nice little tasty tidbits from Captain Rumour, Carlos of Eastwood Fly fan himself. So on that note, and on that bombshell, I bid you a very fond farewell, adieu, to you and you and you, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.